Hello, happy Wednesday. Today we are going to be going over mixed factoring practice number 8, Wednesday 422. For this assignment, you'll have three different things. First off, the very first one is reviewing what you guys did yesterday. You'll have three problems on that. So let's go ahead and go over one of those. So this is what this one will look like. We'll have x to the fourth minus 6x squared plus 5. I won't spend too much time on this one, but I did want to real quickly review that. We have x to the fourth minus 6x squared plus 5. First thing we need to do is look for a GCF. Unfortunately, I don't see anything I could divide out of these. So I'm going to factor this just like a trinomial. So x to the fourth breaks down into x squared and x squared. I need two numbers that multiply to positive 5 that add up to negative 6. Oh, well, that's easy. That's negative 5 and negative 1. Negative 5 plus negative 1 is negative 6. Negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. And then from here, we're looking to see if either of these is a perfect square where we can keep on factoring. And sure enough, this right here, that is a difference of two perfect squares. So my x squared minus 5 will stay the same. But if I have x squared minus 1, that is x and x, and negative 1, I'll have a positive 1 and a negative 1. So that's a real quick review of the problems from yesterday. I'll go ahead and type this in, hopefully get the thumbs up. X minus 1, submit answer, and we are all set. All right, today we're going to take it one small step further, and it's really combining the skills that we already have. So here's what this one says. We have negative 3x cubed plus x to the fifth plus 2x. And we really haven't seen anything with x to the fifth before, but I promise you this is going to look very, very similar to all of the other problems that we have done. All right, so here we go. Negative 3x to the third plus x to the fifth plus 2x. One huge hint that I'm going to encourage you. This is kind of in some random order. I don't really like it like this. I have my x to the third first, my x to the fifth, and then I have a 2x over here. I like for these powers to go in decreasing order. So I'm going to go ahead and rearrange this. X to the fifth, that is my biggest power. So I'll go ahead and write x to the fifth first. My next biggest power is negative 3x cubed. So minus 3x cubed. And then finally, this is understood to be to the first power. Don't forget that. That is my last one. So I'll have a plus 2x. All right. So before we start breaking things up, let's see if we can factor out something that all of these have in common. And hopefully some of you are looking at this and thinking, I do see something that they all have in common. X to the fifth, x to the third, and 2x. These all have x's in them. So I'm going to go ahead and write x on the outside. And let's talk about what's left. If I take out x to the fifth, if I take out 1x, I still have x to the fourth. Negative 3x cubed, well, I'd still have negative 3x squared. And finally, plus 2x, if I take out that x, I have plus 2. And guys, pretend that this is not even here, that x. This part right here is exactly the same thing that you guys did yesterday, identical. There's just an extra x on the outside. So let's go ahead and break this up. First off, x to the fourth breaks up into x squared and x squared. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to positive 2 that add up to negative 3. Well, that would be negative 2 and negative 1, correct? Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2, and negative 2 plus negative 1 is negative 3. All right, and here, just like yesterday, just like the one that I just did, take a look. I have x squared minus 1. That is a difference of 2 squares. So here we go. I have an x. I have my x squared minus 2. But then this last one breaks up into x plus 1, x minus 1. And this right here is my final factored answer. Whew, that is a lot, and that is really, really good math. All right, so let's go ahead and type that in, see if we're right. X squared minus 2, x plus 1, x minus 1. Got it. All right, let's do another one just like this and see what we can come up with. All right, so here's what I've got going on here. I have negative 4 plus 5x squared minus x to the fourth. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'll go ahead and exit out of all of these. All right, I'm gonna put these, -4 plus 5x squared minus x to the fourth. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put these in order from our biggest power to our smallest. So our biggest power, I have a negative x to the fourth, negative x to the fourth. All right, my next biggest one is positive 5x squared. And then my last one here is I have a negative 4 out here, so -4. All right, now, if I were to try to go and factor this, well, I have x to the fourth. I know that that breaks up into x squared and x squared, but this negative is really, really kind of difficult to deal with. So just like we pulled out the x before, I'm going to go ahead and pull out a -1 here. I'm going to factor out a -1. No, you don't have to write the 1, but I'm going to go ahead and do that just so we can kind of see here. All right, if I have negative x to the fourth and I divided out a -1, I'm still left with x to the fourth. If I have positive 5x squared and I divide out a -1, I'm left with a negative 5x squared. And then finally, if I have a -4 and I divide that by -1, I have a positive 4. And here's the whole reason that I did this. You could check yourself at this point in time. -1 times x to the fourth is negative x to the fourth. -1 times negative 5x squared is positive 5x squared. And -1 times positive 4 is -4. And the entire reason that we did this is now we are able to factor this just like we have been doing in the past. So let's do it. All right, x to the fourth breaks up into x squared and x squared. I need two numbers that multiply to a positive 4 that add up to -5. Well, that would be -1 and -4. Think about that. -1 times -4 is positive 4, and -1 plus -4 is -5. All right, and now we're looking for our difference of two squares, and I see two difference of two squares. Let's go ahead and look at this. I still have my -1. This first one, x squared minus 1, that breaks up into x plus 1, x minus 1. X squared minus 4 is x plus 2, x minus 2. And this is our final answer. Whew. All right, so take a deep breath, relax. I know I've been talking pretty quickly. Let's go through the whole thing. First things first, I went ahead and got these in the correct order. I have negative x to the fourth plus 5x squared minus 4. Since this started off with a -1, I went ahead and factored out a -1. And then I was able to factor this just like I had been before. I chose -1 and -4. -1 times -4 is +4. -1 plus -4 is -5. And then finally I had two difference of two squares. All right, I'm just going to take a look here to see, oops, just so you guys don't have to learn this. Some people are kind of picky. They don't like a -1. They just like the negative. I'm going to try to do it with a -1 just to see for you guys. Yeah. Yep. That -1 is okay. If you just left it as a negative, though, that one should be okay as well. All right. So, guys, make sure that you put these in the proper order from our greatest to our least. Factor out an x or a negative if you need to, and then factor just like you did yesterday. Feel free to send me screenshots of anything, and good luck. Have a great Wednesday.